Hey, 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 happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah, otherwise known as the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. It is Thursday night, September 5th. This is episode 358 of The Daily Dope. Tonight, I am going to be paging through, taking a first look at rough nights and hard days for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay from Games Workshop and my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. So we are going to be jumping into that in just a bit. I see chat is already popping. Flaming Huron has arrived. So has the Madman. Yes, the Madman who won one of our contests very recently. Big thumbs up on that. So do want to mention, because this is a live show, first off, this is very casual. It's not, rocket surgery or anything like that. But there is chat available since it is live. It is on YouTube. And of course, I do want to point out, chat is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the stranger commenters at bay. But I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say hello, or maybe you have a question, or possibly there's something about rough nights and hard days you want to get a closer peek at, by all means, please chime in. I will respond. Of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel and you dig those, by all means, please subscribe. Don't forget, if you do subscribe, ring that little bell, because it will not only inform you when a new video is uploaded, it'll also tell you when the stream goes live within about 5 minutes or so. And of course, be sure to tell a friend. In fact, tell 2 friends. And don't forget thegaminggang.com, which is my home website. There is loads and loads of stuff on thegaminggang.com. It's not just all about videos on YouTube. So, all right, very cool. So, I've got some news tonight, some pretty unique news, some cool things that I've noticed. I went a little heavier on role-playing news because it is Thursday, and I love to focus on role-playing games on Thursdays. So, going to jump into the news in just a bit. I am also going to kind of discuss some changes starting next week with the Daily Dope as a test, as a trial. We are going to do things a little bit differently next week, so we'll see how that ends up coming out. But anyway, first off, let's get down to the news. Do want to mention, though, I know there are folks out there who do not like the tabletop gaming news segment. If you are one of them and you are not watching live, by all means, please take a look. There are show notes below. If you click on show more, you will see show notes. And there are timestamps, so you can skip all around the video to wherever you'd like to go. So let's jump on into the news, because the first news piece is kind of a strange looking game, because now available in English is the Japanese horror game Haku Onu, or Ono. I think it's Haku Ono or Haku Ono. I'll just say Haku Ono. Oh no! It's now available from WizKids. I've got the dope. Now available in English from WizKids, the hit Japanese game of supernatural horror, Haku Ona. Oh, it's Ona, not Oh No. Sorry about that. Anyway, Haku Ona is a game of horror hide and seek. One player plays the Haku Ona, the woman in the box, and the rest are visitors who are trying to escape from the mansion. As visitors, you'll try not to make noise as you search the shadowy rooms of the mansion for items to protect yourself, for information, and for a way to escape what you cannot see but know is there. But if you stumble upon the Haku Ona, You're dead. Players who discover the Hako Ona become a Hakobito, one of her servants, and wake up with her to move through the house. During most of the Hako Ona's turn, human players must keep their eyes closed so they cannot see where she moves to or what action she has done. The game also features a unique optional dexterity element that adds to the game's overall tension and dread. Before a visitor can take their turn, they need to avoid making noise by stacking a small disc on top of a previous one, creating a tower. If the tower collapses, they've made noise, and it instantly becomes the Hako Ona's turn. The Hako Ona can win the game in two ways: if all the visitors are turned into Hakobito, or if she has made it impossible for the visitors to win. The human players can win in one of three ways: if they manage to kill the Hako Ona after finding her only weakness, if they find the secret exit while in possession of the key ring hidden inside the safe, or if they can bring peace to the Hako Ona by bringing the remains of her body to her precious doll Mary. Hako Ona is for 3 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, plays in 90 minutes to 2 hours, and does carry an MSRP of $29.99. It is in stores now. So this does seem kind of unique, although I got to admit, this is a horror game. This artwork is pretty spooky, and it's for ages 10 and up. I don't know about that. I have no idea. But it does seem pretty cool, and it is in stores now. So, Dan from No Enemies Here has arrived. Good to see you, Dan. Welcome aboard. Moving right along, let's get into some role-playing game news, because I got plenty of it. Because Paizo also has plenty in store coming this month. I've got the dope on a few of their releases. First off, we've got the Pathfinder Adventure Path number 147, Tomorrow Must Burn. It is part 3 of 6 in the Age of Ashes Adventure Path. The Age of Ashes Adventure Path continues. In defeating the treacherous cult of Cinders, the heroes discover a nefarious group pulling the cult's strings, a mysterious merchants guild called the Scarlet Triad. Following clues and utilizing another portal found below their castle on Hell Knight Hill, the heroes come to recently founded nation of Ravenel, where they must stand against the Scarlet Triad as the group attempts to establish an underground slave trade. Not your player group, I don't think. I don't think your player group is the ones trying to establish the underground slave trade. But as the heroes clash more and more with the Scarlet Triad, it becomes increasingly apparent the slavers have even more sinister plans for the Inner Sea region. Plans that must be stopped. Age of Ashes is the first adventure path using the brand new rules for the Pathfinder role-playing game. This third adventure is for 9th level characters, also includes a gazetteer to the newly formed nation of Ravenel, an exploration of the dragons of the world, a wealth of new options for player characters to discover, from magic items, spells, and feats to a new class archetype, and more than a dozen, take that back, half a dozen, new monsters. Of course, each monthly full-color softcover Pathfinder Adventure Path volume contains an in-depth adventure scenario, stats for several new monsters, and support articles meant to give game masters additional material to expand their campaign. Yes, you can get this in softcover for $24.99 or in PDF for $17.99 towards the end of the month. They do not have an exact date just yet for the release. Then we also have Starfinder Adventure Path number 20, The Last Refuge, Attack of the Swarm. This is part 2 of 6 for the Attack of the Swarm Adventure Path. Sound the Retreat. With a handful of survivors from a swarm invasion as passengers, the heroes travel to a nearby colony world in search of safety. At the overburdened metropolis of New Graka, members of a movement who believe the swarm are punishment for the system's sins are disrupting the military's efforts to take in refugees. The heroes must stop these fanatics, as well as clear out a series of caravans beneath the city that could provide shelter and protection should the swarm attack this planet. In the process, they discover clues that might help solve an ancient Shiran mystery. This volume of Starfinder Adventure Path continues the attack of the Swarm Adventure Path. Oh, that's repeating a lot of things. It does include The Last Refuge, a Starfinder adventure for third-level characters by Marlon Butler, a historical look at the Shiran people's flight from the Swarm in the early days following the Gap by Lacey Pelizar, a catalog of biomechanical starships by Tracy Barnett, an archive of alien creatures, including an aquatic ambush predator, and several new swarm creatures by Anthony Bono, Marlon Butler, and Owen Casey Stevens, stats and deck plans for a military infiltration vessel by Tracy Barnett, plus a glimpse at a colony world of shallow oceans by Mara Lynn Butler. This will be available in softcover for $22.99 or in PDF for $15.99. Then there is also the Pathfinder Critical Hit deck. Hit harder. Sometimes doubling the damage isn't enough. Why limit yourself when you can decapitate your foe or overload them with a surge of magical energy? With the Pathfinder Critical Hit deck, when you score a critical hit, draw a card and apply one of 4 different effects. Beating your enemies has never been so visceral or so much fun. This will be available, I believe this is actually going to be out on Monday. And it does carry an MSRP of $12.99. Here's something strange though. I have seen, as I have like a piece of fuzz in my eye, I have seen the Critical Hit deck with 2 different art styles. So we've got the one I'm sharing, which has been the one that's been pretty much advertised for 2nd edition Pathfinder since the beginning. But now on their website, they are sharing different artwork. I don't know, maybe some people complained about the goblin with the arrows sticking out of it. But unfortunately, the only piece of art that I found for the new cover, or box art, I guess I should say, was really tiny, and it would have looked terrible. So I stuck with the artwork that I've had. So pretty cool. Good to see. There's other Pathfinder stuff coming out too. I'm really surprised that we are still seeing a bunch of 1st edition Pathfinder releases. Granted, of course, I figured the Last Adventure Path would wrap up, but there are pocket editions of various books. I saw some December solicits, which I'll probably share on Monday's show, from Paizo, with more 1st edition stuff. So Paizo's not just wrapping things up for 1st edition. They're going to roll out some things that I guess have been in the works for quite some time. So John Vogel's popped in to chat. John's asking why I'm not watching the Bears. I got a show to do. I could be watching the Cubs too. Today is a Chicago-Wisconsin battle royale because we got the Cubs up in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers, and the Packers are down here in Chicago taking on the Bears. Kickoff's in about 3 minutes. I won't miss that much of it. Plus, you know, it's called a DVR. It's just don't tell me the score or anything. All right, so anyway, Viper Dave is popping in too. Good to see you, Viper Dave. Moving right along with the news, there's a new release for Apocalypse World. It's arrived in PDF. I've got the dope on the Extended Ref book. The Extended Ref book is a set of extended playbooks with expanded explanations and helpful text. It includes some old familiar playbooks like the Quarantine and the Show, plus some playbooks that have been available only to a limited audience, like the Symbiote, the No One, and the Contaminated, plus some weird things like the Skiller and the Landfall Marines Reclamation Mission. It also includes the 1st edition rules for Fronts, updated to 2nd edition. It contains the Child Thing, the Contaminated, the Landfall Marine, supplemental walking suit, supplemental reclamation, the No One, Quarantine, the Show, the Skiller, the Symbiote, more supplemental information about the colony. There's also the Water Bearer, there's MC references, fundamental scarcities and fronts, And there's also a spreads file, which is suitable for printing and bringing to the table. You can score the 78-page extended ref book for $10 at Drive-Thru RPG. Obviously enough, of course, it is in PDF. I have to say, I like Apocalypse World. It's not for everybody. I don't think with the group that I game with, I don't think I would be able to run Apocalypse World the way I would like to run it, just because it would be too mature for the group that I play with right now. But I like a lot of Apocalypse World. I like a lot of the role-playing games that are powered by the Apocalypse as well. So it's good to see that Apocalypse World is getting a little more support, because I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff coming out from Vincent Baker as far as Apocalypse World recently. That's not to say it's not coming out. I'm just saying I haven't run across it. Also available at Drive-Thru RPG is the City of Great London for Swords and Wizardry and the Midderlands setting from Monkey Blood Design. Let me grab a quick sip here. Anyway, here's the dope. In the daylight hours, the folk of the City of Great London bustle through the drizzle. Its wards are alive with pickpockets, street brawls, puking drunkards, muggings, and murder. This is the capital city of the Haven Isles, and those that come here get streetwise quickly. Then, the night comes. As the barely seen sun sets over the myriad of tiled rooftops, Great London is plunged into a green and dangerous gloom. In the royal palace, Queen Elspeth IV's mood matches the night. The Mad Queen, as she is known, is fickle and paranoid. Her hatred of gossips and spies, as well as her tantrums, spread fear amongst her court. Dukes and duchesses quiver as she glowers at them all through half-closed eyes. One of their deaths is near. The Queen is not the only danger in the cobbled streets of the city. The corrupt city guard, known as the Peekers, patrol the gloombug, lantern-lit city wards, looking for cowering souls to intimidate. Unmentionable horrors lurk in the sewers below the narrow alleys and streets. Assassins sneak across the nightways of the precipitous rooftops above. And in the fields beyond, the beryl-bathed outer wards where shadows fall, lurk things that are hungry. The City of Great London is a city setting for use with old-school role-playing games. It's designed to be used alongside the Midderlands setting, and hence is the Midderlands compatible. Game stats are presented for use with Swords and Wizardry Complete, which means they're easily adopted for old-school games and retro clones. Much of the content is designed to be as system-neutral as possible, so feel free to use it with any fantasy game system you like. This book does not require the Midderlands setting, but it is greatly enhanced with it, as there might be references to things found in the other books. The 224-page PDF is available for $18.30 from Drive-Thru RPG. Sweet. This looks really good. I really dig detailed city books dating all the way back to the city-states of the Invincible Overlord. Yeah, good old Judges Guild. But Monkey Blood Design actually won an Emmy this year. I think it was one. It might have been more, but I know they won an Emmy for their cartography for the Midderlands setting. And the Midderlands setting is, as you can tell, the City of Great London, Lunden, is supposed to be London. And the Midderlands setting is kind of a fantasy, kind of a gritty setting, but it's supposed to be kind of like England, but not England. So, actually, I've taken a look through the first source book. It is pretty cool. Kabuki Kid is popping in to chat. Good to see you, Kabuki Kid. Thanks for joining us. All right, so finally, there's another role-playing game that caught my eye, also on Drive-Thru RPG, and I've got the dope on The King of Dungeons from Grand Scheme Publishing. The King of Dungeons is a new fantasy role-playing game where you and your friends get together and make stuff up about spells, swords, and shenanigans. I'm going to pistol whip the next person who says shenanigans. I'm sure somebody caught that reference. I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here. You know what an RPG is. This isn't exactly your first rodeo, right? Also, I'm reasonably sure that you're also a GM, which means you know how books like this work already, all of which is cool. I've written King of Dungeons in a pretty conversational tone. If I've got it right, then this should feel like one gamer talking to another, rather than hold your hand through basic role-playing procedures that you've seen umpteen times in the hoary old "What is a role-playing game" section that you probably just skimmed anyway. I'm just going to pitch this my way to you, GM to GM. I've been gaming since the days of yore, when everything was black and white and you had to color in your own dice with crayons. I spent most of that time searching for the perfect dragony, dungeony-like experience. I've read so many other people's iterations on the classics, I thought it was time to brew my own. I call it a remix or a cover version. The inspirations and influences are clear. It is dungeoning and dragoning through a modern lens of systems, married to a mindset of making it up as we go along. It's not from any particular school, it's just the way I like to play my games. Hopefully presented with some passion and a sense of humor. I'm really bolting together three elements of play. I like tactical, action-oriented combats. I like freewheeling exploration and interaction in my games. And I wanted a reason for it all to hang together based on the core premise of, what if professional adventuring was an actual thing in the setting? I also wanted to have the chance to record my personal thinking on gaming ideas without having anyone answer me back. The system chassis is the Archmage engine, which you might know from the 13th Age role-playing game. That itself is a blend of the world's most popular role-playing game and the more indie narrative sensibilities. It's been simplified and stripped right back. I've added other bits and pieces from all over the gaming spectrum and my own brainium. The system is to 13th Age what basic D&D was to AD&D. Compatible, but stands up on its own. The setting is implied. It's heavily adventurer-centric. It's actually more of an adventuring structure that you can drape over your own or shop-bought setting of choice. Adventuring is a career and after a while becomes its own raison d'etre beyond simply killing monsters in ill-lit holes and absconding with their stuff. Little Monty Hallism, come on. How does it play with your current stuff? Awesomely. If you're old school, then there might well be some bits you fancy nicking to livening up, the downtime elements of your gaming. If you're more new school, then the more loosey-goosey soft crunch might inspire you in some way. You can use all your old adventures as a skeleton for your sessions. For example, using the montage system, veteran gamers could drop the Tomb of Horrors into a session and have it done in one sitting. That'd be cool, right? The 136-page PDF for the King of Dungeons can be had for $10 at DriveThruRPG. Sounds pretty cool. This sounds very, very interesting. Although I would have to say, Tomb of Horrors in one setting, no. You're going to miss out on so much. Although Tomb of Horrors isn't exactly a fantastic adventure. It's just one of those crazy-ass, like grinder kind of dungeons where everything's a trick and stuff like that. All right, so that's it for today's news. We've got Xsolera X1 is popping in. Bones has arrived in chat. Good to see everybody hanging out. So, I am going to get into my first look and page through of Rough Nights and Hard Days in just a few moments. So, did want to mention today is the last day to get in the running for the Pathfinder contest. That's right. It is the second edition PDF prize pack giveaway, which includes the core book, the bestiary, and the Fall of Plaguestone standalone adventure. We're going to fall short of getting a second prize pack out there. It's looking, we're about 30 shy of getting 30 subscribers on YouTube shy of getting a second prize pack out there. So I tried everybody. So still going to give one away, and I will announce the winner on tomorrow's show. All you gotta do is be a subscriber. That's it. Just gotta be a subscriber to the channel. And I am going to have to pull up a random number program for the nearly 1,700 subscribers to the channel, because everybody's in the running. Everybody. So we've got that. So that contest is wrapping up. Then, of course, I also do have, because I've got some stuff that I put on top of it, dummy me, the contest going on over on Twitter for the Wooden Evertree, as well as the Pearlbrook expansion for Everdell. So this is a prize package together. If I hit 5,100 followers, I almost said subscribers, followers on Twitter by Sunday night, I will actually choose a lucky contestant to give that out to. Now, this one is a little more difficult for you to get in the running. I shouldn't say difficult. You actually have to do something. So, over on Twitter, number one, you got to be a follower. And there is a tweet that I keep putting out every day for the contest. All you have to do is retweet that with a comment talking about why you really like Everdell. And of course, you should probably have Everdell or be interested in picking it up to get into the contest, because it'd be pretty silly to have the Evertree and Pearlbrook, but not the core game, because you need the core game to use either one of those. So that is those are the two contests. Tomorrow I will announce the contest for the alternate cover giveaway of Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. So I will be coming up with that. It's going to be another easy one. This is going to be a YouTube contest. And I'm probably just going to do something where you got to be a subscriber and you have to comment on one of the videos like I did before. Pretty easy peasy. Not too bad. Fleming Huron saying better odds than the lottery. Yeah, way better odds than the lottery. Plus it doesn't cost you anything to play. So those are the contests. Also want to talk about next week. So on tomorrow's show, I am going to do a bit of a how to play and review Valparaiso from my friends over at Stronghold Games. Then next week, I am only going to do news on the Daily Dope. It's still going to be Monday through Friday. It's still going to be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I want to test something out. Because, as I mentioned on yesterday's show, if you didn't catch yesterday's show, my view numbers are like nowhere near what they used to be. When I used to just do, like standalone videos, even now, when I do standalone videos, I tend to get many more views than I do on the show, which, that's fine. I mean, some people don't like me. Some people don't like my style. Some people, it's not like I've got the most expensive equipment out there and things like that. But then again, I'm not in anybody's pocket and I'm not asking you for any dough. So there's that. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm still going to be doing unboxings and reviews and things like that next week. But they are going to be released as standalone videos. So just going to see what happens next week. So the show's still going to be on. You can still show up and chat. Chew the fat with me. I almost said shoot the, but you can chew the fat with me. And the show is still, it'll run about a half hour. That's what I figured. About a half hour or so. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. But I was going to mention I did my page through my first look at Dungeons and Dragons Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. And it's already almost to 200 views. And it's only been up a day. Now, if it was part of the show, I guarantee we'd be at about 100 views. And it's just the length. The length of the show is scaring people away. That's what it's got to be. So Dan says, I love your style. Thank you, Dan. I love your style too, you crazy bastard, you. But Dan's got to go. So have a great night. Hopefully you watch a little football tonight. I'm kidding. He's up in Canada. He doesn't care about the Bears and Packers. Anyway, so So yeah, so there's that. I mean, I'm not like upset or anything like that. I just want to try something out. Because as I mentioned on last night's show, I had a company that I had done an unboxing and a review of, and they've got a new game coming out. They're not a big company. It's one that I had only done covered the one game. And I reached out and I said, hey, I'd like to check that out. And they actually were like, well, we didn't get a ton of views because it was on the show. Plus, you know what? They didn't share it on any of their social media, which is kind of their problem too. There are far too many companies that do not understand how social media works. If you send out a review copy to somebody and they review it, it's usually a good idea for you to share that on social media. It's like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how some of these people in their marketing positions at some of these game companies got there, to be honest. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens starting Monday. Hopefully you still pop in, hang out, and chat for a bit. So also, before I jump into my first look at Rough Nights and Hard Days, do want to mention, of course, because the Gaming Gang, thus the Daily Dope, are pretty much not-for-profit endeavors, if you like the site, if you like the show, if you like the channel, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Lil Bub's Big Fund does provide grant monies to organizations throughout the United States who care for special needs animals who are awaiting adoption. These animals might be a little bit older, like me, or they could have mobility issues. Thankfully, I don't have that problem. They could be blind or deaf. They might require medications every day. Regardless, these animals still deserve to find loving homes, and of course, they will repay that love 100-fold. Take it from me, someone who has adopted shelter pets in the past. In fact, all of my pets as I became an adult, since I became an adult, are all shelter pets. Now, granted, they were not necessarily special needs, but they were shelter pets. So I can tell you, they will definitely repay that love. So, if you make a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund, be sure to shoot me an email if you like. My email address is right down there in the corner. It's jeffmclear@thegaminggang.com. Let me know, and if you would like, I'd be more than happy to give you a quick shout out on the following show. So, there you have it. I know people are going to be tuning in because they want to take a peek at Rough Nights and Hard Days for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Rats. I forgot to move that frame from yesterday. We were zipping along so good. Anyway, I'm sure people are tuning in because they want to check out Rough Nights and Hard Days for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay from Cubicle 7 Entertainment and Games Workshop. It's written by Graham Davis, Andy Law, and Ben Skerry, with artwork provided by Andy Law, Fernando Izamo, Jonathan O'Donohue, Mark Gibbons, Mateo Spirito, Mitchell Nolte, I'm guessing, Ralph Horsley, Sam Manley, Scott Purdy, and Victor Leza. The 96-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $34.99, or you can score the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. And of course, whenever I mention DriveThruRPG, keep in mind, we are an affiliate, so if you are going to swing over there, please stop by thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banners, and you will help us out if you happen to make a purchase. Let's swing on over to the other camera, because I've got Rough Nights and Hard Days already set up. I'm going to grab another quick sip here. So, it includes 5 Grim and Perilous Scenarios by Graham Davis. So as you can see from the cover artwork, you do not want to go to Martini's Tavern and talk about angels getting their wings, because they will toss you right out on your ass. They certainly will. All right, so let's take a look at the back here. It says 5 Grim and Perilous Scenarios by Graham Davis. Let me tell you of the Graven Maria Yuki von Leibowitz of Ambelstein, Yowza, and her deadly quarrel with Baron Otto von Demmenblatz. It's unlike any tale told before, a truly epic drama to establish and amaze, featuring evil witches, profane demons, deceitful assassins, and murder most foul. And of course, the biggest draw of them all, an evening at the opera with the Grand Countess of Nuln as Detlef Schierk, the finest actor the Empire has known, entertains us all on stage. This is a story worth the telling, so draw close and let us begin. Rough Nights and Hard Days contains 5 phenomenal scenarios for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, written by RIFP veteran Graham Davis. They can be played individually or combined into an epic 5-part campaign. So, I do want to point out that these stories, these adventures, have previously appeared. So these are not brand new, but they have been reworked by Graham Davis. I have actually interviewed Graham a couple of times at Gen Con. Very, very interesting person. Really, really nice. Really nice gentleman, too. Always really enjoy talking with him. So you can actually check out my interview with him at the last Gen Con, where we actually talk a little bit about Rough Nights and Hard Days. Also want to mention, I saw yesterday, Andy Law is not going to be working on Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay anymore for Cubicle 7 Entertainment. I know there were some people out there who were like, oh my gosh, oh goodness, Andy's leaving. Well, but the thing is, Andy wasn't part of the team to start with when Cubicle 7 closed the deal with Games Workshop. Now, I'm not saying, oh, thank goodness Andy's gone or anything like that. I think people are kind of overreacting a little bit. And it looks like my pal Dominic McDowell will take over the series until they bring somebody else in. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. So let's take a quick peek, see what we've got. So we got the forward here. So it says, Rough Night at the Three Feathers was an adventure for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition that was published in issue 94 of White Dwarf. I'm assuming that a lot of these adventures are from White Dwarf. So let's see. This is basically Graham's telling us how he put this all together. So we've got The Restless Dead, Apocrypha Now. Wow. Oh, that's from Hogshead Publishing. Okay. So cool deal. So these actually came from a lot of different sources. Very nice. So then we get an introduction, how to use the book, how to make a campaign of it. We also have the Enemy Within campaign. A lot of people are pumped about this. This will be coming soon. I think we get the first part. I think we get the first 2 parts this year. I might be wrong, but I think we get the first 2 parts. Plus another Cubicle 7 title that everybody's pumped for is the new One Ring. So the new edition of the One Ring, which everybody keeps asking me. They're emailing me, asking me if I'm going to get a copy of it to review. And I'm like, I think so. I can't tell you for sure, but I think I will. All right, so Rough Night at the Three Feathers. So this is going to kick our campaign off. Once again, you can play these separately as standalone as well. So pretty nice artwork in the book so far, as we can see. Got a nice layout here. Nice map of the tavern or inn. Breaking down what happens at what point in time. That's kind of cool. Giving us a little bit of a timeline of that night. Different events that are taking place in the Three Feathers. One aspect of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay that I really like is, and it's not the grim and perilous. It is more because it is, it's got a sense of humor to it. I mean, it's not silliness or anything like that, but it does engage in a little bit of satire. So I appreciate that. I really do like that. So, looks like the art for these characters here, and I'm surprised it's in black and white, but Looks like the art is from the same artist who has been doing artwork for Chaosium on their Call of Cthulhu. The faces certainly look like that artist. So, and I gotta be honest, his artwork leaves me a little cold. So, no offense, I'm just saying, everybody's got their own, everybody's got their own preferences, right? So we had a day at the trials. Our heroes arrive in Kemperbad for the Graven's trial. This will be a day they will remember for a very long time. Okay, so we got the courthouse here. Oh, jeez. He sit on something? So he may have sat on something. He's like, yo! Trial by combat. Oh, that's cool. I like that artwork. That's pretty cool. I like that one too. So we can see that the art style does vary a little bit. It's not, it's not crazy, like completely different. But as we can see, we've got the various different artists with their various different styles. A Night at the Opera. I wonder if we're going to get Groucho and Harpo and Chico showing up here. Probably not. So here we've got the theater layout. For some reason, this rings a bell with me. I don't know why. And I don't mean because of the Marx Brothers movie. I mean the adventure itself. It's ringing a bell. And because I had some first edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay stuff. I had the core book, things like that. I never ran it. Because at that point in time, I pretty much just ran Call of Cthulhu. But I used to still pick up stuff all the time. I say it all the time. I wish I had all of the role-playing games and board games and things like that I had all through the years. Because I would probably be, first of all, I'd be like living like somebody on Hoarders. Because I did all this stuff. But I would probably have some money if I sold them. I mean, I had loads and loads of stuff that I have seen go for some big bucks at Gen Con's auctions. So here we've got the NPCs, the various different characters. All right, so then we have Natasia's wedding. Talking about using it as the campaign and as a standalone adventure. I noticed they're doing that with each of these. Get some plot summaries, different events taking place. Another adventure where it's telling us, at what time different events are going on. We get a timeline there too. Get into the non-player characters. And the Lord of Ubersreich, I believe, is the final adventure, right? Dirty politics. Vengeance served cold. There's a few different plots going on. Quite a few different plots. I know some people, when they see things like with these events, like how these events are timed, will sit there and think, this is kind of a railroad. It's, from my experience now, I'm not saying that these adventures are going to be any different. My experience, I usually see when we get like timed events and things like that, it's basically just saying, hey, this is what's going to go on, regardless of what the player characters end up doing. Plus, it gives the game master a great opportunity to kind of fill in what's going on around the player characters. All right, so concluding the adventure. It says, following the campaign. Oh, so it gives you some ideas if you want to continue on with the campaign after this book here. All right, and we've got all the various NPCs. I believe we get a new playable race in this book. There we go. There we have it, the gnomes. Yeah, I like that artwork there. That's cool. So it gives us all the information that we need to have player characters play gnomes. So we have pub games as well. So, that's kind of cool. So it's going to talk about different pub games that take place in the realm. That's kind of cool. Darts and dominoes. Okay. All right. And then here we go. Prepare to experience the epic campaign that started it all. So, like I said, I'm almost positive we're getting the first two parts of The Enemy Within before the year is out. Fingers crossed. Don't know. So there we have it. There's Rough Nights and Hard Days. I will have a review of this in the very near future, within the next couple of weeks. I plan on reading this probably over the weekend. So, but as I mentioned before, it is available right now. You can pick it up in hardcover for $34.99. You can also score the PDF over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. Cool deal. So, there you have it for tonight's show. As I like to always point out, if you like the video, give it a quick thumbs up. If you like some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to subscribe. And of course, ring that bell because it will notify you when new videos are uploaded, as well as tell you when the stream goes live. And of course, don't forget to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I will be back tomorrow with a review and a how to play of Valparaiso from Stronghold Games. So, everybody who hung out in chat, thank you so much for spending time keeping me company. The Madman says, looks good. I love Cubicle 7 products I own. I really dig Cubicle 7. I really, really do. I think everything that they've put together has always been top-notch. Some of their board games that they've done, like Cthulhu Tales, which is kind of a card game, I didn't really care for it. I liked Hobbit Tales, which is kind of the same game. I don't know why I didn't care for Cthulhu Tales. But all their role-playing game stuff has always been top-notch. Always. Their Cthulhu Britannica line they used to do before they and Chaosium went their separate ways was phenomenal. It was excellent. It was award-winning. So yes, I'm right with you, Madman. Cubicle 7, good stuff. All right, Sam Flaming Huron says, love some Warhammer stuff. Good deal. All right, anyway. So everybody who hung out in chat, thank you very much for keeping me company. I know there are some people watching live who didn't jump into chat. That's okay, because I know some of them watch on television. Some of them are watching on their tablets, on their phones. And of course, if they're watching on TV, there's no way for them to get into chat. So I get it. But if you were sitting at home and you had a way to jump into chat, jump in next time. We don't bite. We're all pretty friendly. And of course, I appreciate and love everybody out there who watches, regardless if they're watching live or if they're watching on Memorex. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. It'll be Friday. So until then, happy trails. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.